School masking in Moore County, North Carolina might be here to stay. PlayStation just released the trailer for Spiderman 2. And finally, I rescind my decision to cancel TikTok. I am Luke Crotzer, and this is The Luke Crotzer Show. So previously I had talked to you all about the Moore County School Board meeting here in North Carolina, which took place back in early August. And as some of you know, the school board voted 4-3 in favor of forcing masks on kids and staff throughout the school day, as well as following the strict stay at home for 14-day quarantine policy provided by the local health department. Now, I'm bringing this back up because they will be voting on this month to month, and as far as I can tell, the 4 board members, Elizabeth Carter, Pam Thompson, Stacey Caldwell, and Ed Dennison, don't show signs of voting differently because they, apparently, don't care about people's rights. I also bring this up because I've been forced to quarantine, and neither me or my parents were even brought into discussion to find out if I was actually close to the person that was positive for COVID. Adults that work at my school decided that I was exposed somehow during a cross-country trip I went on and concluded that I, along with others, were a safety risk. The trip ended on the 11th last weekend, and now it's 6 days later, and I've been working out and living my life as normal. So, as you can clearly see, I'm not sick. So, all of this is pretty ridiculous in my opinion. When you really look at the numbers, it's pretty clear that the 4 Board of Education members are not even thinking about the data that they are receiving. According to a recent board meeting, just over 100 students have been identified as COVID positive or possible. Because of that, over 500 students have been forced to quarantine in Moore County. Now, you'd think that it would be kind of important to track how effective this policy really is, right? But I guess the schools and the health department don't want to use those numbers. I mean, why would you want to know how many out of the 400 plus healthy kids ended up actually sick? I mean, what if it was less than 1%? What if it was just 0? Well, I'll tell you that if it was those numbers, it would make the policy look pretty stupid. That's why they don't bother keeping track of that. They're just going to keep kicking kids out over and over, regardless of the impact of our education. Seems like a really concerned Board of Education. With all that said, I wish our Board of Education was filled with members like the ones over in Union County. Recently, they voted 8-1 in favor of immediately ending contact tracing and quarantine guidelines for healthy people. And the best part, they don't even wear the mask either. I mean, that's just awesome. Here's a clip of what I'm talking about, and it is just beyond amazing.
The school board held an emergency meeting this morning. They voted to get rid of contact tracing and quarantine guidelines for healthy people. Students and staff will only have to stay home if they have COVID symptoms or a positive COVID test.
Union County Public Schools cutting back on quarantine guidelines.
I'd like to make a motion to stop sending healthy people home and that the quarantine protocols be for sick people only, and that we immediately bring our healthy people back to school and their workplace.
About 17% of UCPS students were out on quarantine at the end of last week, with only a little more than 1% listed as COVID-19 positive. Several parents spoke at the Board of Education meeting last week, urging the board to shorten the quarantine guidelines. The Union County Board of Education said that district staff does not have the legal authority to issue quarantine periods.
We will continue activities as required by law. Our staff will continue to handle positive and presumptive positive cases.
But for those who haven't tested positive and don't have symptoms, it's back to class much sooner than 14 days.
Now, these 8 members are truly brave Americans that believe in people's rights. The decision they made to not force masks before this, as well as the recent ending of contact tracing and quarantine guidelines, is all over the news and media. They also face possible legal action by the state's health leaders if they do not rescind their decision. A threat by the state's health leaders is ridiculous because they're trying to force what Governor Cooper isn't forcing himself. I mean, even Governor Cooper knows that parents and students do not want this, and it would be bad for him politically. So he tries to push the BS through the Department of Health. But it's silly because the Board of Education does not fall under the Department of Health. Whatever they recommend is just that, a recommendation. So the Moore County School Board has the authority to make changes in regards to COVID recommendations. They can choose to say no to what the health officials are saying. If they really couldn't, then why did this just happen to Union County and other counties that are now following their decision? So let's talk about something a little more entertaining. In 2018, PlayStation launched one of the greatest video games of the year, Marvel's Spider-Man. This game was known to fans as the greatest Spider-Man game ever made. I should know because I'm one of those fans. Then, in 2020, they launched their next Spider-Man, Miles Morales game, which was also pretty awesome as well. And now, PlayStation plans on amazing us again with the new game, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Let's see the trailer.
For as long as I can remember, I have looked for an equal. One who could push me. One who could surprise me. One who could even beat me. Yet all I found is disappointment. Will one of you finally give me what I desire? Yes, we will.
Okay, so far this teaser trailer has already gotten our attention. There are a lot of reasons why I'm looking forward to this game, but I'd say that the biggest reason is definitely seeing Venom. Many people have been theorizing whether Venom would ever make an appearance in this franchise, and now that he will, I am more than pumped to see Venom in action. Now, another topic I'd like to address is whether or not this game might become a Peter and Miles Morales co-op game. So I did some research, and I was able to figure out that in an article by Collider, it says, quote, "Despite the trailer featuring both Peter Parker and Miles Morales fighting together, however, the studio has confirmed that the game will not feature any co-op and will still be a solo adventure." End quote. With that said, the game is still going to feature Miles Morales in the story. If it's anything like the first game, then this game will probably just switch to Miles as the story continues. As for everything else, I don't have much to say except I hope this game is just as good as the original, if not better. Till then, we're just gonna have to wait. I mean, how long could it really... Oh, you have gotta be kidding me. So in my last video, I said that TikTok should be cancelled. However, I think I might have been a little harsh. Despite the woke nonsense on the platform, there are still some good things I liked about the platform, which brings us to our last segment. I decided to share some of you what I've thought were the funniest TikToks that I've seen recently. Roll the first clip.
So, my daughter's asked me if she have a boyfriend round. I said, yeah, but there's rules. You keep the door open and it does never get locked. She's just come in now with a boyfriend and the door's locked. So I brought my brother round.
Why is this door locked? Hey? Hey?
What are you doing? I'm not opening it.
It's Johnny!
Leave it alone. I'm unlocking it.
Told you not to lock your door when you had your boyfriend round, didn't we? Hey?
Go in and get him.
Fuck off! Did you just...
Don't be touching my niece, you little shit. Tell you once, I'll tell you twice. I'll tell you once, I'll tell you twice.
Now this is funny. I feel like the best part of that clip is that this is exactly how my parents would react if I ever brought a girl over to my house and locked the door in my room. They probably wouldn't saw my door open, but they would lose their effing minds. Okay, on to the next clip.
That's me. I didn't put that on TikTok. Who put that up?
White.
Like real
White.
Caleb. Oh, I know
White
Caleb
people
Wilson.
do it. White.
That's almost certainly the best content on the entire platform.
Huh. Who knew Michael Knowles was funnier on TikTok than he was on his own show? JK, but this is indeed hilarious, especially since it's from a member of the Daily Wire, of all people. These guys dislike TikTok more than anyone I know, and I find it very interesting seeing the old dudes at the Daily Wire trying to embrace their inner comedy and youth. Alright, now on to the final clip.
I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
And that's all the TikToks I have for you today. You know, I think there is a lesson that we can learn from all this. I know I said that TikTok is a bad platform, but I also know that it has its good parts too. Because it's really only as good or bad as the people TikToking. Well guys, that's our show for today. If you enjoy my content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to click the little bell icon, that way you won't miss any of my new content. Anyway, I wish you all a great day, a great weekend, and I will see you all next Friday. Literally, because I literally got a lot of time on my hands. Anyway, I'm Luke Crotzer, and this is the Luke Crotzer Show. Peace out, guys.